This one starts with a nice and easy 2-day solo road trip. From Hampton Roads to Greensboro, North Carolina, stopping to have a little tailgate party with myself and Cat Stevens on the radio. Rest stop people watching. I drove across Falls Lake, through Falls Lake State Park, where the Mountains to Sea Trail runs right through. But that's a trail for another time. At the hotel, it was Shark Week on the telly, so I watched Jaws and enjoyed a delicious Guinness. Cheers! The next morning, I said goodbye to the comfort of the Comfort Inn and Suites in Greensboro and headed onward to the Nantahala Outdoor Center to begin my 6th section hike of the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine, specifically this little section. I would trek from the bottom of North Carolina, through the Nantahala Forest, across Fontana Dam, through the Smokies, and up to Pisgah National Forest, at least to Hot Springs, North Carolina. My goal was 200 miles, if I could swing it. Driving towards the Smokies, ooh la la. Okay, so this is Massa Base Camp House. There are these little houses with tiny rooms with 2 bunks each, or maybe more in some of the other rooms or other houses, but these are some of the houses. I had to climb up a hill, up some steep stairs. It has 3 different bunk rooms in it. And here's the Sequoia house, which is a little more cabiny, which is cool. But here's the beginning of the downhill to where we had to park, which isn't actually that bad, especially when compared to the things we're going to be doing over the next several days and weeks for me and Scott. Scott will be joining me after Sonic leaves me. We'll get a 0 day. There is the base camp kitchen, shared by all the base camp. Man, I love zip lining. And wow, I don't know what this place is, but I did not know this was here. It's a large cabin with a beautiful garden. That might be for large parties. I didn't know that was here at the NOC. I've never seen that in anybody else's video, so I thought I'd get it for you. So there's the treetop climbing adventure. And here is the gorgeous Nantahala River, and a little kayaking course. A big old outdoor store. And a footbridge, which is actually the Appalachian Trail, going right across there. One of 2 restaurants here, very outdoorsy. The one across the way is where you can sit down and kind of look out the window over the river, which is awesome. I think that would be cool. I have to document the moment! It's Sonic! So this was the first time I had seen Sonic in person since meeting her on my lash last year, where she was doing her own long-ass section hike. I immediately asked her, "Are you a hugger?" And she said yes. So we shared our first hug, had a pizza at that restaurant I showed you earlier, and then enjoyed some cinnamon habanero cider she had gotten from New Hampshire down by the gorgeous, misty Nantahala River before turning in at the base camp. The next morning, we got shuttled by a guy named Will to Mooney Gap. No other shuttle driver would take us because it's apparently quite rugged towards the end. But this guy did because he had just the right car, and he turned out to be super friendly and knowledgeable.
Hello everybody, good morning.
He is shuttling us to Mooney Gap so we can start our hike 4 days back to the NOC. Look, Scott, he's not nice.
Need more road that we're on.
Need more road.
This is the beautiful little Tennessee River.
Wow.
A very protected river. It's still free. It's free flowing. It hasn't been dammed up until it dies in Lake Fontana downstream of us.
Ah, okay. So that's the river we were seeing that goes into Fontana Lake, basically, but dies. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
And this river, there's lots of old Cherokee settlements along the way.
Yeah.
We'll pass one of the big mother villages along the way in a little bit. It's a protected site. And so this whole valley had little villages and things along it. The Cherokee Indians used to farm and fish and hunt and everything through here, raise their families. So kind of a special place.
We just got dropped off at Mooney Gap and are about to start our hike northbound 4 days back up to the NOC. Yay! Here we go.
What I like about hiking with Sonic is she's strong, physically as well as mentally, which helps drive me on when I'm feeling less so. She's also fun, and took a pretty cool picture of me here.
Alright, we made it up Albert Mountain.
It was nice and sturdy, but we couldn't go much further than this because the top was closed off.
Hi, so here we are at, what shelter is this? Rock Gap? Rock
Gap.
Rock Gap? All right. And it's very small and has a slanted floor, so unless we want the blood to rush to our heads, we'll have to put our heads here closer to the edge, which is not ideal. We don't like that, but it's okay. We'll do it. We're going to stay in the shelter.
It would shortly be discovered that I had forgotten my spork, which was fine. I could remind Scott to bring both of our sporks when he came. But in the meantime, Sonic found me this big hollowed out stick, which I carved a little bit and turned into a smoother spoon. Stick Spoon's the name. Then we had a whiskey toast and a good long conversation. Nice brivy down at Rock Gap Shelter, with 2 potties, one that's in use while the other just rests and composts. You could barely smell the compost pile down below, nice and open. Fairly newer, smelled really good, comparatively. There's our bags. Took a lot of work getting those both up on just the right tree. Okay, so it is the morning of day 2. We made it through the night in this lovely shelter, and it rained so hard, and we were both like drugged up with melatonin and Benadryl, and so we slept really well. And there are like walnuts falling on the roof of this thing, and they would wake us both up briefly.
Just a few times, though. It wasn't as bad. I was afraid that it would be dozens of times.
Yeah, but we'd go right back to sleep because that's good stuff.
It was so loud, though. You would jump.
It was. And we heard something that we thought was like something crashing into the roof of the privy, maybe, but it looks fine this morning. So we're having our coffee and oatmeal and whatever she's having. What you having?
I'm not eating. I'm just
You're not
drinking coffee.
She skips breakfast. I don't know how she does that. But anyway, all is well. We have a 12-mile day today, and where we're camping tonight, there's apparently lots of bear activity. So I'm nervous because I'm in my little hammock bear burrito. So we'll see how everything goes. Okay, bye-bye. First water source of the day after Rock Gap Shelter. Really cool waterfall trickling down. Some rhododendron. Up winding stair gap, which I can show you a little bit of. There's all the stairs down. Winding stair gap. So that's what we're working on currently, and it's very pretty. That's all for now. Okay, so that whole winding stair gap area is done. It spit us out right over there by that white car. And now we're doing some roadside walking through some grass for a ways, it looks like. So that's interesting. And we're having a blast, aren't we? I'm so glad we did this. This is working out.
Yeah, this is good.
And it's pretty out here. Pretty weather. It's like overcast, so it's not too hot, but it's not rainy. It's kind of breezy. I like it. Mama like. Just came upon this waterfall and this little bridge, and we decided 11:30 was a good enough time to eat lunch right here by this waterfall. I was telling Sonic that only only with a new backpacker friend, with no other kind of brand new friend, can you just be in the middle of a conversation and then just drop trow and pop a squat in the woods while you're talking. Only with a new backpacking buddy does that really fly. So we're at a cute little Moore Creek campsite here to take a pee break and a sit break, but we gotta head on because we got like what, less than 8 miles to do, but seven something?
Yeah, like 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5 miles to do to our campsite. It is like 12:30ish, so we gotta go. Okay, so yes, we made it 12 miles, and now we have set up our stuff. That's my hammock, bug net, and tarp with my little sleeping pad inside. Becca's over here with her awesome, don't worry, I didn't get your bending over butt. There you go, you're done with that. So there we go. And this awesome Gossamer Gear 2-person tent that is trekking pole supported, but much cheaper than Z-Pack, but she swears by it, so I'll probably get that. And we have a new friend. This is Tool Time.
Hello.
Hi, Tool Time. So we're just all having dinner here. He takes kids backpacking. He is a teacher. He works with special needs kids, which we think is awesome. So he decided to take these guys backpacking too, like he does sometimes with kids. And they let him know that they were calling him Tool Time behind his back, and they were all apologetic. But of course, it was an awesome name, so he kept it. And that's how he got his name. Also, he has taken orphaned children in Romania backpacking through the Transylvania Alps. So how amazing is that? Did I tell all the stories right?
You told
I tried to do it quickly. Okay. The next morning we hiked up to Waya Bald and the Waya Bald Fire Tower. At this point we were halfway through our 40-mile trek together before she'd have to go pick up her daughter from summer camp. And I would go on another 155 miles, hopefully. I had faith in myself. I was making pretty good time and getting better. Damn, it feels good to be a gangsta. Stick Spoon reappears for some curry. Mmm. This summer I went swimming, this summer I might have drowned. But I held my breath, then I kicked my feet and I moved my arms around. I moved my arms around. This summer I swam in the ocean and swam in a swimming pool. Salt my wound, chlorine my eyes, I'm a self-destructive fool. Self-destructive fool. This summer I swam in a public place and a reservoir to boot. At the latter I was informal, at the former I wore my suit. I wore my swimming suit, yes. Something big just went crashing through the woods away from me as I was hiking and singing and belting the top of my lungs. I don't know what that was. Sounded big. Could have been a bear, could have just been a big deer. But I just started singing even louder. And now I'm talking to you because it makes me feel better. Alright, so we just came out onto Tellico Gap. And I remember seeing this row of power lines cutting through the mountain from up top and thinking that looks pretty far away. But here we are, not much longer after that. We've gone 11.2 miles and we still have more than a mile and a half to go. I feel totally whooped. We did it. We're gonna camp right there. I'm so whooped. The view we got from Wesserball Tower that evening was spectacular. It was about sunset. Just look at how beautiful it was. Really glad we got this view because the next morning we were completely socked in with fog. We hung our bear bags from the tower, and the next morning there was a gorgeous spider web. I do have to tell you that the evening before, on the way up to that fire tower, I dropped my water bottle. It fell down the mountain, and I was really tired, just completely whooped, so I started crying. But I was feeling much better today, enjoying this beautiful climb down. And so glad I had 2 water bottles, so I had a backup. Very important. But you did not crawl under it. You went around the edge. Yeah, that's looking like the better path to me as well. So this is fun. I'm gonna crawl around instead of under. Whew. Me and Sonic are eating blackberries off the side of the trail. They're pretty yummy. They're not super sweet, but they're a little sweet and a little juicy. Mmm, so good. Mmm. All right. And after 40 miles, 2 full days and 2 half days of hiking, we'd made it back to the Nantahala Outdoor Center. I'd be coming back here in a day after driving to my parents' cabin to pick up a new instrument and meet the Wandering Scotsman and continue on for a couple more weeks of hiking. Super busy today as I headed one more time across this bridge on the Appalachian Trail over the Nantahala River.